All right, let's reset here. All right, welcome. This is MDog, and we're just going to show you a quick farming run today. This is actually from my stream, but I'll try to upload this to YouTube so it's there as well. And just to show you where we are in Stranglethorn Vale, doing some, I believe it's Cataclysm content. And you can see it's Gurub. We're here at the entrance. We've got 7 minutes left on our Potion of Treasure Finding, which I do recommend you have the Potion of Treasure Finding active. It's not completely necessary, it just gives you another thing. Quick sneak peek on the bags here, and you'll kind of get an idea of what we're going to be getting, but I'll kind of talk you through it as we're going. I am streaming, so I may occasionally get distracted by things, but I will try to stay on point. So you come into the instance, obviously it's on heroic mode, which one of my viewers here let me know that's the only mode available of doing Zulbur Grub is on heroic. You're going to come over here down to the left. So I came straight to the left. I'll try to bring up the map every once in a while so you can see it. The first thing you do is kill the hive queen over here. And then you want to kill these fish that are around. And one of the things that I'll be talking about is the importance of skinning for this run. I'm not saying the run would not be worth doing, but it would definitely take a lot of the value out. The amount of savage leather that you'll get on this run definitely adds a good bit to the value. But the other thing that the Hive Queen just dropped is the Hive Queen's honeycomb. And so a lot of what we'll be doing on this run is picking up these items from the minor bosses in here that will then, you'll be able to get lots of Cataclysm materials which still sell pretty well. So by the way, after killing the wasp, we came to the left, and you're just ignoring a lot of mobs here. You're basically going to certain points and killing certain things that you can get skin for leather. So we're going to bring these guys right over here just because we can kill a couple extra guys. It's a good time to talk about AoE. Unlike a lot of farming runs, having AoE is not necessarily required for this run to make it worthwhile. You'll notice that I am using a lot of AoE abilities. It just makes it a little easier, but you're not killing that many mobs in here. And a lot of them are minor bosses, and so you can just, kill one enemy at a time in a lot of these scenarios. Alright, so we killed these group of snakes. Obviously, again, it's a chance to kill a bunch of things at one time and then pick up the leather. Take another left, and we're going straight down this path. Right at the end of this path, in this area here where my mouse cursor is, you're going to go inside this village hut, and you're going to kill the chef. The chef is going to drop another item that can be opened that will have loot in there, which gives you even more materials. So here's the master chef. He's always in this room. Kill him. While I'm in here, I usually do kill his little minions. They at least are in the room here. Do a quick multi-shot, kill a couple guys. Happens pretty quick. Just gives you extra. If you've got the treasure find potion, it's an opportunity to get more of the tiny treasures. It also, you'll get a ton of cloth. We've got a bunch of cloth. Okay, by the way, we came out of here, came straight out of the hut, going down this path. Down this, we're actually going to go through the fire here, not killing anything else, and we're going to take the little right here in the bin, and we're going to have another group of AoE enemies. So on these guys, the thing to notice is you want to kill the Witch Doctor first. That takes the shield down so you can kill everybody else. Again, this is just another, and sometimes what I'll do is you see this guy over here got killed, and then this one here will kill that worker, and then just loot someone over here, because then you'll pick up the loot from those as well. Pick up all this loot, and sometimes you get some bind on equip gear, which can be helpful for auctioning or just disenchanting. Alright, here's the first of the next set of bosses. So right around the corner from where we killed those guys is Morlek. You definitely want to take care of him. Did not mean to do that. And we didn't let him run far enough. Usually just you run up in there so you can loot all of those guys at the same time. But he gave us a giant sack. Or is our inventory full? Okay. Let's just do this real quick. And it's a good time to point out. You're going to need a lot of bag space. So we'll sell sell the vendor trash. So we just got 38 gold for selling vendor trash. So kind of keep that in mind. I'd say per run you average between 5 and 10 just on vendor trash. 5 and 10 gold just on vendor trash. Okay, we didn't pick up everything because we had full bags. Alright, so just around the corner from Morlek is this other pathway leads up. You can ignore the needlers, but what you're looking for is another guy, and this guy's name is Kulima. Kulima. So you're going to kill him and his little minions, and he's going to drop your second giant sack of the run. Giant sack is another one of these items that we're talking about that you're going to open at the end. So then you keep going. You go back down to the end of the path, take another left. Everything is pretty much to the left as we just kind of stay on the outside of the middle area. The key is, if you don't know on these, is so that you can reset it. You don't want to take down any of the major bosses. So we're just ignoring the major bosses. So now we get to the bridge as the run is almost done. If you're focused, this run is between a 5 and 6 minute run. Here is Glub. Make sure you kill Glub. He's going to give you Glub's catch, yet another thing that you can open up to get gear out of. And then we're going to kill these Gnashers down here, the Crocs. And again, this is basically another opportunity to loot a bunch of things at one time, as well as get some more leather. And after you get these, the run is pretty much over. You'll see how close we are to the entrance. You go out, you reset it, you do the same thing again. So we'll finish gathering this up, and then we're going to take a right back up to the bridges. I recommend just not aggroing him. He doesn't really drop anything other than silver typically. And you run across this bridge, and you're heading, as you can see on the map, straight over here to the exit. And so once it's done, I'm not going to go through all of the loot that we have. We've done an hour of this, so you can kind of see what our bags look like after 1 hour. Here's where you run out of the entrance. You can see the skull to show that it's on heroic mode. And so if you look at our bags, this is what you're looking at for an hour. According to Loot Appraiser, we got a little over 2,000 gold, but that's not taking everything into account. Just to cut to the chase here, I would say I've done this on 2 different occasions. I've done an hour-long run, and I would say you're safely looking at 3,000 gold. It just depends on what you do with the materials. If you just straight up sell them on the auction house, that's one way you can go about it. If you vendor all of your greens, then that's going to give you sort of a certain amount. The other thing, if you have tunes that have tailoring and enchanting, you can make a lot of bags with the materials that you're getting out of here. And so that can obviously increase the amount of gold you're getting just based on the market on your server. But we're going to go ahead and open one of each of these items that you get during the run. So, I mean, obviously you do get a lot of vendor trash. You get lots of greens and epics, like these Gurubashi Punishers. For some reason during this past hour, 3 of these fell. On my server right now, they're auctioning for around 136 gold. I've already listed one, so I'll probably just disenchant or vendor the rest. This staff is worth 200 gold. A lot of the vendor stuff are not things. This is not a run that you get a ton of transmogrification stuff. I would say it's more for materials. Think of this run as getting a lot of Cataclysm materials and decent gold. So let's look at this. So what we got from the Hive Queen, the honeycomb, if you open that up, it's going to have just about every time, I think every time pretty much, it's going to drop the Twilight Jasmine, Volatile Life, and Volatile Air. And so as you can see on this server, the Jasmine selling for gold.5 each, Life selling for just under 4 gold, and same thing with the Air. So pretty good. Then let's go to the chef's groceries, and that's from the chef we killed in the one house, the hut. If you open that up, it's going to have different variations of crafting ingredients. This one happened to have monstrous claws in there. On this server, that's about 2.74 gold each. So for that stack, it would be nearly 50 gold. All right, we get giant sacks. There's 2 different enemies you kill to get giant sacks. So you've got twice as many as giant sacks as you do of everything else. So we'll open one of those. They're always gonna have ore and gems. Let's see, what gem did we get? Nightstone. And I didn't see where it went. To save time, let's just go ahead and look. So Nightstone sells for about 8 gold a piece. And gems will sell, just depends on the health of your market, but they will sell eventually. If you get too many of the same thing, you might not be able to sell them all. It just depends. But the ore always sells well. And sometimes you'll get the rare ore, not just the aluminium. So you can make some good gold on that. Finally, the last 2 items before we get to the treasure chest, you have Gub's Catch. That's from killing Gub down there on the bridge. He's going to always give you fish. In this case, he gave us catfish. They sell for about 1.45 gold on this server. And then you have the last thing. Oh, wait, we've already looked at the groceries. Maybe that is everything. Yeah, the last thing are the tiny treasure chests. So if you're using the potion of treasure finding, you can open up these tiny treasure chests. That one we got 2 gold from. I would say the most common thing you're going to get out of those is going to be gold and cloth. And so as you can see, on this run, we didn't get as many. We only got, what, 9, 10, 11. So if we're only getting 2 to 4 gold on average out of each one of those, then it's probably not worth it. Now, I have an alchemist, a tune that has alchemy, so I can make those potions fairly cheaply. But if you're spending 100 or more gold on the auction house, you may not get that money back. So if you can craft the treasure find, I would say make it. If not, you need to check and see how much they cost at your auction house. It may not be worth purchasing those for this run. You're just not killing that many enemies to increase the amount of treasure chests. Like there's a run you can do in Uldum just out in the world where you're killing so many enemies, you're going to get enough of these to make it up, even if you are spending 175 gold on your auction house to buy the treasure finding. So that's kind of the decision you have to make. If you have an alchemist, just make them, because it's pretty easy to make those potions, and definitely use it. If you don't have an alchemist, it's a little more debatable. I might lean towards not making it. But anyway, that is the run. I would say you can count on 2,000 to 3,000 gold. You certainly can make more than that depending on what you're doing with the materials. But this has been Gurub in Stranglethorn Vale, the northern section of Stranglethorn Vale. I use a hunter because of the skinning. You definitely want to have skinning. That's the other thing. Sorry, let me just mention this real quick. So if you look at the Savage Leather, because Cataclysm mats are still in pretty high demand, right now Savage Leather is selling for over 6 gold a piece on my auction on the auction house on my server. That's not always the case. Usually I think you see it more around 1 to 2 gold, but sometimes it's more. So that's why getting the Savage Leather. So we made 300. We got 367 leather in that run. So if you don't have skinning, you're going to be missing out on a pretty big chunk of gold from the run. So anyway, it's been M-Dog. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll tune in again. Come join us, M-Dog Gaming, on Twitch.